Namaste and welcome to class, and thank you so much for sitting with me in this day. I am still in Cartagena and we are just passing an incredible electrical storm. It's so humbling to see those thunders and the ocean just bow in silence. Nobody moves until the wind comes and shape and get all the air with this negative ions where everything is calm. So I notice also that in that agitation, the nervous system get impacted. So I just took some yogurt with cardamom to calm myself from the influence of probably half an hour of electrical storm. But electricity is what I want to talk to you about it in the form of will, your electrical will. And what is the will and why is there as a divine attribute, and why we cannot maximize that potent energy that is our will. Let's start by seeing that the divorce of my will with the divine will is in the mind and is in the ego, right? That little tantrum that we as a teenager have, the ego of the teenager say, no, I want to do my thing, my way, because I know better and the other ones don't know. In that moment, then your will enter a path that is very much leading your whole life. And that wanting to prove something, usually to a parent, proving that you are worth it, proving that you deserve to be acknowledged, proving that you are lovable, proving that you're capable. That gets so very, and you find yourself that the will start to take in the shape and be prisoned by the agendas. You start doing, the doer and the doer and the doer who always is doing something. It never is able to sit and enjoy the electrical storm. The doer is nothing wrong with it, but when it have that little hurt inside of wanting to be recognized and loved, can go for a long time, 30, 40 years. And you can get great achievements in life and great recognitions from everybody that say, wow, look at all the things that you have accomplished. But it will never satisfy you, because that will of you is intertwined with a hidden agenda. And that will of after 50 years, you'll feel very tired and very depleted and very defeated. So, well, why? Why I invest all my life in these things? My kids don't even want to talk to me, or they visit me from time to time. Or I am just sacrificing so much. For what? So the doer is something that it needs to be reviewed in your 30s. Because in your 30s is when you start opening the production cycle of your life. And you do without awareness that you're doing. You just get absorbed by the day to day, and you're just giving energy with no direction or purpose. It's just like a rat in the wheel. But behind that, you want to be recognized. That's the first step for you to stop. It's not just taking 2 or 3 days here and retreat and so on. It's to acknowledge that, oh, behind all my doing, my frantic doing, I want to be recognized. I want to be seen. Now, you may see that so many people see you, but why you don't accept that? Why you cannot accept that you are being seen? Why you are insisting and believing that you don't want to be seen? And in here is where you need to realize that you have certain tendency in following what is not true, and following certain conditioning, and following certain easiness, what to follow that is easy. But that is not your will, your true will. That is the will of others. So, let's say if my spouses or my kids have influenced me and having an internal constitution of that I should follow, that is an untruth. And that untruth will produce a behavior, but that behavior is burning the energy and my personal will that I should have to follow my own passion, to follow my own truth. So it comes with certain responsibility. If you don't have the responsibility or wanting to have the responsibility of accepting your own personal will, which is designed for you to unlock your mission in life. Mission that is again I repeat this, have nothing to do or little to do with your behavior or skills. Most of the time have to do with how you're serving your soul and what divine attributes you are enhancing, promoting, engaging, and delivering for your own satisfaction. Nobody else's satisfaction. So the irresponsibility of not taking your own attributes decline your personal will, producing lethargy, you say that in English? Yeah, lethargy. And then you lose energy. You lose energy and you start procrastinating, postponing. You start thinking that you have the whole entire time of the universe. Well, you don't. Life is very short, and probably at 30s or 40s you don't see that is passing very quickly, and that each day is proposing for you to activate your personal will with the divine will. And this is the second part that we need to adjust, right? That our teenager wants his personal will. It takes a road that is promoting agendas, deviating the responsibilities, not being in charge, losing boundaries, losing vision, procrastinating, typical teenager. With a sense of maturity, when your ego start relaxing about not being seen and receiving what you want and taking more responsibility, then it comes naturally this second beautiful state where you are not fighting anymore against an invented authority, Authority that it can be God, that can be your kids, that can be the institution of marriage, the work, right? Where you are simply seeing that the cosmos and the universe have an order, have a law, and that you are part of that. It considers you. And you have to respond to it. But that doesn't mean that it's different of what your will is. That's why many scriptures say the final adjustment is when in that state of surrender will say, my will and the divine will is one and the same. And that's when you surrender. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You're just relaxing the doer. When the doer is relaxed, otherwise you will get very disappointed because you are never satisfied and you have high expectations of everything you do. But when the doer is relaxed, satisfaction comes because you are not putting together I am because I do. And I have to do in order to prove that I am lovable and that I need recognition. When the doer is relaxed, you are free of that entrapment energy. And I say energy because it's very super potent. You entrap the energy and you cannot balance the divine will with your personal will. When it's relaxed, it gets liberated, it gets relaxed, and it molds a space where you can actually express your potential. That is the maximal expression of the will. And it's so, for the seeker, it's so important to understand this because in my experience being a spiritual teacher, see that people get face to face with this, with their own will, and they feel very threatened in surrendering it because they cannot really understand that there is nobody in the heavens punishing you or wanting you to do any different that you are being inspired. Your will is the same as the divine will. And when it's in alignment, a great fire comes, not only in your third chakra, in your navel center, but the whole illumination body start to shine, start to be activated, start to be in the combustion of service, in the combustion of the impulse and the inspiration and the thrill and the adventure of knowing what life is. The will is meant to serve the heart. If it's not serving the heart, if it's serving the illusion of that you are not loved and that you need to do in order to achieve something, you're a slave. So take notes. What are the highlights of this satsang? And perhaps to see in you a space where you have a little compassion for you. You have tried so hard. You have tried so often. You have done the best you can. You are so defeated because you are not getting that love and that recognition. But have compassion for that doer. Is trying hard. Is trying the best. but it will never get satisfied because it's simply not in a state of surrender. Hopefully this is helpful for you. It is an important lesson. Thank you very much for sitting with me, and I will see you in our next class. Namaste.